Gotta get into character. Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. How are you doing there? I'm Maya. Welcome to the channel, and I just got a little short story to read you. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. God, guide me. Thank you very much. I love you. Okay. This is called Woman at the Well by yours truly. But this is an intro. This is an intro to the short story. Okay, here we go. I was watching House of David and asked God if he was with me. This is a true story. I was really watching House of David and I really asked God, hey, how are you? Are you with me right now watching this show? Okay. It's something I've been saying for a while, to acknowledge his presence, wanting to invite him into all that I do with intention. And it was genuine in my eyes. But this time, he corrected me so lovingly with the very next words that came out of the actor's mouth. You see, what men forget, they ask, is God for us? Is God with us? But the question they should be asking is, are we with God? True story. True story. I'm over here asking God, are you with me? And then the TV literally responds, are we with God? People, sorry. People be asking, is God with us? But the question is, are we with God? That really happened. When I tell you my jaw dropped, I have live footage of it with my jaw dropping. Or, well, not live footage of it happening, but live footage of my reaction to it happening. But anyway, yes, that really happened. And it was stuck in my brain for a long time because, I'm gonna just keep reading. Little did I know at the time, that was the most important lesson I could have learned in this lifetime. The kind of lesson that I'd make sure my children and their children's children understood if it were my last moments with them. When we ask, is God with us? It usually comes from a place of fear, doubt, insecurity, or even pride. Wondering if he's still present in our situation or if he's abandoned us. But when we flip the question to, are we with God? The focus shifts. It's no longer about him continuing to prove himself to us as he's gracefully done time and time and time and time and time again, but about us simply answering his fatherly come home call and just being with him as his children, learning and becoming like him by proximity. Because over time, we naturally start to reflect who we're around. And that shift removes the excuses. We stop delaying closeness with him until we feel ready or cleaned up, because the truth is, he's already chosen us. Already inviting us, not to fix ourselves first, to be clear, but to come as we are and to be his child. I mean, babies come as they are without apology, okay? I have one of them. I want to tell you, it is without apology. They don't potty train themselves. I tell you, I got a fresh 3-year-old and they do not potty train themselves, okay? They learn by staying close to someone who already knows. Parents who don't expect mastery on the first try or understanding at the first explanation. You don't know how many times I repeat the instructions over and over. And I don't expect him to get it the first time because life is new to him. Without guidance, they wouldn't know where to begin. Without guidance, they wouldn't even know there was something to learn at all. So, God, is the kind of father who doesn't force or demand his own way because he is love. He lets us choose him freely. He gives us the choice to love him back, the choice to ask him for guidance. But when we do, there's nothing to prove, nothing to fear, doubt, or attempt to control. He already loves us more than we can ever even fathom, obnoxious tantrums and all. And he already got the W secured, as the kids say. So go ahead and toss away that insecurity, okay? Because he got the W secured. I don't know if you caught that. Hold on. Toss away the insecurity. Toss it. Go ahead and toss it away because He got the W. Secured. Insecure be gone. Security with God. Boom. Okay? Meaning all we have to do is simply enter his rhythm and enter his rest. Anyway, I'm going down a bit of a rabbit hole, as I often do when I'm talking about my God, my God, my God. But now onto why we're here. Gather round. Gather around my future children's children. Can't wait. Let's read a little story I wrote just for you and your friends and your aunties and your uncles and all of the above. This is called Woman at the Well. Da, 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 da. A man approached me one day and invited me to a banquet at his dad's house. Normally, I wouldn't entertain this kind of conversation from a stranger, but the peace I felt when I saw him just made no sense. You ever had a conversation with someone and it felt like you've known them your whole life? I felt like that before he even spoke. But I don't know, maybe I felt too at peace because I declined his offer and went a separate way before I could even wrap my mind around why. Soon after, there he was again with a warm smile and the same invite. So, what? Your dad is always hosting a banquet or something? Yes, actually. Want to come and see? I have somewhere else to be right now, but if he's really always hosting one, I'm sure I'll make it one of these days. Then, one day, as I was walking, the sweetest aroma filled my nose. My legs changed direction and followed it because whatever it was, I was getting me some, okay? And there he was, with a warmth radiating off of him that you could just see, handing out samples of honestly what seemed to be heaven for free. I wait behind him as he crouches down and ties a superhero cape around a little boy who is just showing every tooth possible. And I caught the boy's unforgivingly contagious smile reflecting on my face. And it's hard to put this to words, but follow me. I saw that same warmth entering the boy's body as the man pointed him in the way that he should go. The boy started running so fast towards it that it almost looked like he was flying. Then the man stands up, picks up a sample, and turns around extending it to me like he expected me to be there or something. "This one's for you," he said. I wanted to respond with something slick like, "How'd you know I wanted that one over all the other ones on the table?" But I can't lie. That heavenly, captivating smell was too close to my nose to even take the time to play about it. I mean, I ate that thing up like I'd been starving. And as this sample sunk into my taste buds, my eyes immediately began to water as foreign yet somehow the most familiar warmth flooded my mind, and I started to feel this weird urge to run in the same direction as the little boy. I didn't. I was just so stuck on trying to process the fact that this bite was literally made just for me, specifically to taste buds I didn't even know I had. This is the food served at your dad's banquet? Just a taste of it, yes. Would you like to come and see? Again, before I could even understand why, I declined. But as I walked away, I knew I couldn't go back to living without it. I did a quick 180 back to him and said, "It's just, I'm a bit of a homebody. Would you bring me a plate tomorrow?" He nodded and smiled and said, "I'll meet you where you are." Every time that I asked for a plate, he'd deliver one right to my door. I'd invite him in and we'd have the most honest conversations as I ate. And I'd never been one for small talk, and I soon found he wasn't one to waste words or sugarcoat. So our conversations always ran deep. He wasn't just telling me cool sounding theories and hypotheticals. He dug up what was not of me and spoke to a spring of truth inside of me I didn't know was there. I always thought I was a good person, but until speaking to him, I found there was a mess inside of me that I swept under anything possible. He taught me truth and how it goes hand in hand with love. I could get into it, but that's for another time. I just know nothing else ever made more sense. It was like he knew the world more than it knew itself. The more I got to know him, the more I fell in love. He challenged me, yet spoke so gently to me. He taught me what it means to have a servant's heart, yet treated me like royalty. He told me how he saw me, and he's always been a comedian, but that conversation had me crying, laughing, until I realized, like, straight out of a movie, he wasn't laughing with me. He actually saw a version of me that was without spot or blemish, a version I'm still struggling to see, but at least now I believe him based on the way he's already transformed my perception thus far. Soon he came over every day. He helped me clean my home and encouraged me to treat and take care of myself in the way that he would and did, and to then go treat and take care of others in that same way. I never felt love like this. The next time he came over, his tone shifted. Still light, still warm, but stern. Like there was a pinch or two more salt in his speech. He said, "We've been seeing each other for a while now, so you know my intentions have been far from temporary. I've prepared a place for you in my dad's house, and I would like for you to come live there with me." I was speechless. This whole time, I didn't realize I'd never gone to his house. The whole time I thought we were already living together in my house. But this request revealed he's only ever been a guest in my space, on my terms, on my time, where I can invite him and excuse him whenever I please. Yet he still loved me the same this entire time. I meditated on our conversations up until this point and realized every single one ended with him inviting me to more. "There's more food at my dad's house. You're always welcome to come." To which I'd respond, "It's cool. I'm full. Maybe next time." How was I so blind? Like, how was I so... He interrupted my obsessive thoughts with his present offer. "This to-go plate will be eaten, and you'll be hungry again tomorrow. Why don't you stay at our table, where the food never runs out?" He held out his hand to me and looked at me with glossy, attentive eyes that didn't just stare into my soul, but knew it. "Listen, there will be a time where I can no longer come to your table, where you have to choose whether you want to find your own food or come to the source, where it never runs out. You've tasted samples and seen glimpses. You know it is good. Up until this point, I've eaten with you. Please, come and eat with me." Wow. Somehow he made me feel even more loved than before, realizing he was patiently pursuing me this whole time, making sure I knew I was loved and wanted. Never just telling me, always showing me, not dwelling on my past rejections, but being in the now with me. So this time, before a second thought could catch up, my first thought won the race and shut it down. I took his patient hand confidently, and he ushered me to his father's house, like the perfect gentleman he is. The moment my eyes adjusted, I fell to my knees and wept at the ignorance of my hesitation to come. He invited me to this table from the beginning and simply wanted me to come and eat. Why had I been trying to invite him to my table instead? I have to share the beauty of this place with my grandkids and all who will hear, so they never delay as I did. So, dear listener, do me this one favor. Come and see for yourself. Please, just come and see. The Woman at the Well meets Psalm 145:4. One generation commends your works to another. They tell of your mighty acts. The title of this piece is Psalm 145:4, and it reminds me of the story I just shared. I originally painted it as an illustration for the children's book Protecting a Dream by Dr. Gilo Kwesi Logan, representing real people in that story, but outside of the book, this means something else to me. And it didn't fully hit me until I finished writing this story. I feel like I am both the woman in the background and the child listening attentively at his feet, but today, we're just going to focus on the woman. When we speak of the goodness of God, it is best done in submission. I'll explain. That is, allowing Him to make His unique appeal through us. Like I'm the passenger princess when it comes to my testimony and my artistry as he helps me communicate it. Not because he's mansplaining, but because he simply knows it best. My pastor, Dr. Anita, once pointed out something so beautiful about the woman at the well. She didn't try to be Jesus. She gave her testimony and told them to come and see him for themselves. She didn't want to be the source for them. She wanted to share the source with them so they could then experience him personally. John 4:42 says, "We no longer believe just because of what you said. Now we have heard for ourselves and we know that this man really is the savior of the world." That is what I desire. To rest as he speaks through me without me fighting for control over the narrative. Submitting so my maker can speak through me in the way he sees fit to appeal to his children and invite them into their own personal time with him. So, limited editions of Psalm 145:4 are now available on my website. There are only 7 that will ever be printed. So, if you resonate, I'd love to welcome you into my family of art collectors. Have a good day. Have a good day. That's it, done.
Un poquito si te pique a shorto, someone like someone I know no. Un poquitito, un poquitito.
Can you guys see? I'm guessing. Okay, it does a blaze. To go, don't stop. Oh my gosh. Did you hear all that? Oh my gosh, are you still gonna like me? No. Oh my gosh.